Hello, researchers. Welcome back in our next session. It's about research philosophy in management and healthcare research, ontology and epistemology simplified. Okay, after this session, you will be able to find out your track of your research philosophy. You will be able to see which epistemology, which term or which type of epistemology or ontology for your research philosophy you should go for. Let's start with our discussion related to our philosophy. What research philosophy actually is? It's about the set of beliefs, assumptions, and principles that underline the way you approach your study. So, the 3 points that I put the focus on that are beliefs, assumptions, and principles. Why I focused on these 3 points? Actually, these three parts are the main parts of our research philosophy. Why? These components or parts, beliefs, assumptions, and principles guides us which approach we should apply for our studies. And for these parts, there are two things. Two things are divided that we need to focus. One is epistemology, and other one is the ontology. These two terms actually the building blocks of our research philosophy. According to the definition of the research philosophy, we need to go with the beliefs, assumptions, and principles, and including for these two comes ontology and epistemology. These are the building blocks. You can see ontology plus epistemology comes research philosophy. Then in ontology, we also have different types of ontology, and then in epistemology, we also do have different types of epistemology. According to our study, we need to find out which type of ontology and which type of the epistemology we are going with, and we are formulating our research track for the purpose to make our research philosophy and for the purpose to proceed our research for our study. Then the first one is about the ontology. Ontology actually is concerned with the reality. What is real? What is true? And it shapes the reality actually. It shows you what reality is and what shapes the reality. क्या रियलिटी है और क्या इसको शेप करता है बनाता है. If you want to solve a problem, it will give you the track of what the problem is. Means to say, if you want to solve the problem, if you want to solve what the problem is, okay, it will guide you what the problem is and what the possible answers would be. Now if you feel that you are problem, what the problem is, if electricity goes, so we do have load shedding, and this is the problem. It affects our business. Then this is the problem, and what would the possible answers be? Now we can move forward with the answers. Okay, what the problem is? The behavioral problem exists in someone, exists in employees. The lack of motivation in employees. Lack of motivation is the problem. Then would need to find out the answers according to this. Ontology shows the relationship between components. Means to say it helps to show the relationships between components. It helps to create the relationships when we are arranging our problems, and we are going to proceed with the answers. It helps. In simple words, ontology tells us what exists, what is true, real in the world we are studying, and how do different components of that reality relates to each other. Then it comes, there are two types of ontology, realism and relativism. We are now discussing about the realism. Reality exists independently of our minds. Let's suppose what realities, any reality or anything exists independently in our minds. Let's suppose you are believing that sun rises from the east and sets from the west. It's your reality. It exists in your mind. Gravity exists whether we believe it or not. So that means if you are giving the value to the concept that the gravity exists, then it's not an issue with someone, but it's with you, because it's your belief that gravity exists or not. After that, the relativism. Reality is socially constructed through human interactions. Let's suppose culture, traditions, and beliefs vary between societies. So that means that reality is constructed through human instructions. After that, there are a few of the examples I have created for you in a table form. One or two I'm going to read, and for your understanding, you can read the other examples and you can make the link. Like ontology is concerned with what is true or real. Okay, it tells us what kind of reality we are trying to understand in a study or workplace stress. Is stress an objective biological reaction or a personal psychological perception? It's about, it shows you what is reality and what shapes that reality. Reality can be physical, social, psychological. It depends on what it shapes: the human behavior, the perceptions, the systems, or anything. In business research, let's suppose productivity might be shaped by the technology, but also employees' attitudes. Okay. So, other examples you can read. I'm not going to take a lot of your time. Realism. Reality is not fixed or universal. Reality is not fixed or universal. Instead, people create reality by talking, interacting, sharing experiences, and agreeing on meaning and ideas. So, what we believe real often depends on our society, traditions, communications with others, on our norms, on our cultures, on our decided values, or our traditional backgrounds or histories. Let's suppose money has value only because we all agree that it does. Do you agree? Money has value? Okay, let's suppose I don't agree that money has value. But whenever I am in the society, I need to buy something for the purpose to fulfill my need, because that is my problem, that I am thirsty. The thirst is the problem, and for the purpose to fulfill my thirst, I need to buy the solution. I need to buy the water. I'm going to buy the water, and water is the solution. For that purpose, I need to pay the money. So the rupee 100 I am going to pay. I paid rupee 100, but still I am thinking that it's a piece of paper only. But the thing is that this piece of paper has given the value through different agreements or interactions, through different procedures. It get the value that fulfill my problem. Then the other example of realism. Concepts like success, beauty, or even justice are different across the societies. Let's suppose one society has the different because in this world, people has different skin tones and different standards for the beauty, different standards for specifying the beauty. Some is finding the beauty in knowledge, some is finding the beauty in assertiveness with knowledge, assertiveness with communication. Some is finding out the what the justice is, and then the other has different criteria. Let's suppose one society has one criteria and the other society has the other criteria. Let's suppose we are talking about the success standards. The standard for the success is different person to person, society to society. Let's suppose in my society, some families has the standard for success is wealth. Some has the standard for success is education. For some has the standard of success is fulfilling their family, the completion of the family, giving the very good education to their kids. Some are finding the success in getting the admission in their desired institution. So the standard of success is varying person to person, individual to individual, mind to mind. You can see in our previous slide, reality is not fixed or universal. Okay, that means the reality of your standards is are different. Example 3, related to the research. If you are studying organizational culture, you will find that every company creates its own reality, beliefs, rituals, way of doing things through different interactions of its employees. Relativism and interpretivism. Researchers believe there is no single reality that fits everyone. Let's suppose researchers or you believe that there is no single CV that fits every job requirement. Then you need to modify. So, there is no single reality that fits everyone. There is no single reality that you feel that you are educated in your society. In another society, maybe the people are more educated than you, and they feel that the manners of this person should be like this, or way of talking should be like this, or the criteria of education is not fulfilling the cultural or the requirement of where you want to go. Oh, so the researchers try to understand different realities by talking to people, observing behavior, analyzing meaning, not just by measuring numbers. Here, researchers believe there is no single reality that fits for everyone. This perspective assumes that reality depends on individual experience. There is not one universal truth that applies equally to all people or situation. Yes, that is true. This example is from the healthcare. In healthcare research, a patient might see telemedicine as empowering, and other might say it is stressful. Both are real experiences. Let's suppose telemedicine for one is stressful, one don't want to go for it, the other one goes with the satisfaction. The other one has the satisfaction that with my circumstances, with my terms and conditions, with my criteria, this suitable for me, then it gains the satisfaction, it gains again, it is empowering, but the other one is not finding the value in it. What is epistemology actually? Do you have anything in your mind related to the epistemology? Yes, you can get your definition. Let's suppose the theory of knowledge, especially concerning its methods, validity, scope, and distinction between justified belief and opinion. Epistemology is the branch of philosophy that examines the nature, origin, limits of knowledge, also called theory of knowledge. It explores different types of knowledge such as pro- proportional knowledge, proportional knowledge about facts, practical knowledge in the form of skills, and knowledge by acquaintance as a familiarity through experiences. Epistemology actually, the ontology was about your view of the knowledge. Epistemology, view of seeing or believing the things. And epistemology is about exploring. Exploring the knowledge means to say exploring how you know what you know. Let's suppose precise definition. Epistemology is the study of how we know what we know. The nature, origin, and scope of knowledge. In research terms, how we know the reality. How can we know the reality? Can we observe it, measure it, and find the objective truth? Positivist approach? Or must we interpret meanings based on people experience? Interpretivist approach. The positive and interpretivist approach are the two approaches of epistemology. But first, the ontology was about the view, epistemology about the exploring that view, and positivist and interpretivist are two types of the exploring that views. Type of epistemology is positivism and interpretivism. You can see knowledge is based on observable and measurable facts. See, researchers must stay objective. Example, conducting experiments in the lab to test hypotheses. And interpretivism, knowledge is subjective and based on people perceptions. Researchers seek to understand, not measure. Now, both approaches, the positive approach is conducting the research while considering it a measurable fact, then designing the survey questionnaire and collecting the data through survey questionnaire. This positivism way, collecting the data from the questionnaire and getting the answer while measuring these facts, while getting the answer while measuring these facts. Interpretivism is about the approach. About the approach. Interpretivism is about the approach where we get the answer of our questions by interviewing the employees about their feeling at work. About their feeling at work. Why are ontology and epistemology important for researchers? They influence your research design, your method, data collection, and analysis style. They make your research philosophy explicit, showing you, your reader, judges that you have a solid foundation. They ensure consistency throughout your study, not mixed signals between your worldview and your methods. So it actually align your view. Let's suppose while you do have the knowledge about ontology, epistemology, then you can decide which type of ontology is suitable for your study, and after getting with that type of ontology, you have to decide what type of epistemology of your study you are going for that, and it will formulate your research philosophy, and this will be the part of your chapter 3 in your research methodology in your thesis. The quick examples to understand the better ontology questions. Let's suppose, is there a single truth about job satisfaction that exists across all employees, or does each employee experience satisfaction differently? Okay, ontology question. Is there a single truth about job satisfaction that exists across all employees, or does each employee experience satisfaction differently? Then the epistemological question: can I measure satisfaction using a standard survey? This is the positivism approach, because going with the survey, quantitative research methods, or should I interview people to understand their unique experience? Interpretivism style means where we are going with the research questionnaire, collecting the data with the questionnaire, then the positivism, the quantitative study, and for the purpose of quantitative study you do have different softwares to run your data with that software. Let's suppose SAM, AMOS, PLS SAM, Smart PLS. Jamovie and other softwares that you can use for the purpose to run your data and to find out the analysis what you do have, and after that you can interpret your data accordingly. Then the interpretivism. In interpretivism, there is the question here that happen through the interviews. You can get the answer of your questions through the structured interviews, and for that purpose this is the qualitative study, and it goes with different softwares like NVivo and different softwares for the qualitative study. Epistemology in research, understanding how we know what we know. Positivism, interpretivism, pragmatism, and critical theory. This is the table that you can take the screenshot, and you can read this table that is giving a valuable insight for your studies, and you can easily find out which method you can use for your study, like qualitative, quantitative, mixed method, or which method is suitable for the study. For reading out this table will make your mind more clear. These are the field-based examples that also make your views more polished, and also make you able to decide which research or which type of the research is means to say which type of approach is usable for your study, like healthcare study. How does telemedicine improve patient health? Positivist approach, objective, quantitative, measure patient recovery rate, waiting time, and satisfaction using survey statistics. Interpretivism, constructive approach, subjective or qualitative. Conduct interviews with doctors and patients to explore experiences, trust, and comfort level with telemedicine. Then, pragmatic, you can find out which approach and which way you can go. There are the different examples in here that will guide you very effectively that which approach for your study is usable, and pragmatic, interpretive, positivist, either qualitative, quantitative, and for one study, maybe the tool is different. For the other study, the tool would be the different for your study. Let's suppose education or training. How does online learning affect student engagement? Use standardized test or LMS analytics to measure engagement level and performance. Observe virtual classes and interview students about their motivation and challenges. So, see, for the purpose of quantitative analysis, use standardized test or LMS analytics to measure the performance, and then here can use the interviews of the students, and after that combine using analytics with qualitative reflections to propose improved e-learning methods. Ontology shapes what you believe. Epistemology shapes how you find out what the reality is. Understanding these two concepts is very essential, important for the purpose to conduct your strong research project. This is the definition that we covered in the start, a set of beliefs, assumptions, and principles you should keep in your mind. The research philosophy is the set of beliefs, assumptions, and principles, and for the purpose to find out these set of beliefs, assumptions, and principles, we need to look at ontology and epistemology. And in ontology and epistemology, still we need to go for the types of ontology and epistemology that will give us the clarity of what the directions we should have. See, ontology plus epistemology research philosophy, the table we covered before, positivism, constructivism, pragmatism. One, reality of answer measurable. Numerous realities of answer not measurable but explained. Constructivism. One or many reality of answer measured but interpreted. pragmatism. So, here the key takeaways of our study. Ontology helps you define what is real in your research world. Once you know your ontology, you can decide your next step, your epistemology, how you gain knowledge about that reality, and your methodology, how you study it. Thank you so much, Jazakallah, for staying connected. I hope this presentation helps you a lot. If any ambiguity or anything that you still would like to like me to explore more, or like me to guide, you can write me an email, or you can send me a message, or request me that I can create a video, or I will respond you via email.